Привет, друзья! Сегодня поговорим о русском празднике. If you study Russian or are interested in Russia at all, you might know that right now in Russia there's a big holiday coming up, and that is Maslenitsa. So today I thought that I would talk a little bit about what is Maslenitsa, what are some of the traditions associated with it, and then at the end I'm also going to show you how to make some blini or Russian crepes, since they are one of the big foods that are eaten this time of year. Okay, so to start off, we're going to talk about what is Maslenitsa. The word Maslenitsa directly translates to something sort of like butter week. Some people can also call it crepe week or cheese week. Maslenitsa is an Eastern Slavic religious and folk holiday. It's mostly celebrated in Russia, Ukraine, and Belarus, although I've also heard that there are similar holidays elsewhere in Eastern Europe. Essentially what Maslenitsa is the last week before the Great Lent, which occurs before Easter. This means that it's the last opportunity to eat milk products like milk, butter, and cheese before people have to start fasting. This makes it somewhat similar to the Western holiday of Carnival, or in the US, in some places we have Mardi Gras. However, because of the Gregorian calendar, Maslenitsa is celebrated towards the beginning of March, whereas Carnival is celebrated back in February. That moves along to our next point. When is Maslenitsa? I mentioned that it happens in March as opposed to February because of the Gregorian calendar. This year Maslenitsa will be between March 8th and March 14th. However, the date of this holiday changes every year as it has to do when the date of Easter is. And the reason that it occurs later is because, unlike in the West where we follow a Western calendar, the Orthodox Church still follows the Gregorian calendar, placing Orthodox Easter later than Catholic Easter. Okay, so now we've covered when Maslenitsa is and what it is. Let's talk a little bit about the history of this holiday. Based on archaeological evidence, it's estimated that Maslenitsa might actually be the oldest Slavic holiday on record. There's documentation of this holiday being celebrated in 2 AD. That's a pretty long time ago. It's actually believed that Maslenitsa has pagan origins and was originally a festival to celebrate the sun god named Valas, and also to celebrate the end of winter and the returning of the sun with spring. This is possibly where the tradition of eating crepes comes from, as they are round and symbolize the sun. However, once Christianity spread throughout Russia and Eastern Europe, Maslenitsa became Christianized and was taken up by the Orthodox Church as the week before Lent. There are a lot of different traditions associated with Maslenitsa. A lot of them depend on where exactly in Russia or Eastern Europe you are. However, there are some that seem pretty common. In some places, each day of the week has a different tradition associated with it, such as on certain days you go and visit relatives or give gifts. However, most of the Maslenitsa traditions tend to revolve around food, and one food in particular, Blini. Blini are essentially the Russian version of crepes. Now, I know you're probably have in your mind a picture of those little tiny round crepes with caviar and butter on top. However, the crepes served at Maslenitsa actually tend to be a bit bigger. Imagine something the size of a dinner plate. And they're very thin, more like French crepes, and not the yeasted little round ones that you're probably thinking of. Furthermore, blini can be served with a variety of toppings, not just caviar. One of the most common toppings for blini is actually sour cream, although personally I like them with jam. And blini is really a traditional food to eat during Maslenitsa. However, beyond eating food, people also spend a lot of time outside. Popular activities include sledding, snowball fights, and ice skating. There's also a really fun tradition that I enjoy, which is the burning of Lady Maslanitsa. This is when people build a giant straw effigy in the shape of a woman, known as Lady Maslanitsa, and then on the last Sunday of Maslanitsa, they set it on fire to symbolize the end of winter. In other places, they might do things like drown Maslanitsa or bury her as well. However, setting her on fire is what I've experienced. When I was in university in Iowa, of all places, we actually did our own Maslenitsa celebration, and we built a Maslenitsa effigy and set it on fire at the university. It's really a wonder that the fire department was not called on us, to be honest. So now that I've told you all about Maslenitsa, obviously I'm not going to be in Russia this year to celebrate it. Instead, I'm going to be celebrating at home in the US with my family. Because it's not snowy here, we obviously can't go outside and have snowball fights. However, what we can do is have some bonfires outside with friends and of course eat lots of blini. Towards that end, I thought that I would share with you how I make blini and my recipe, and that way maybe you can have some celebrations of your own. Давай приготовим блини. I think a lot of people think that making crepes or blini is like super difficult or super fancy, but actually it's super simple, and all you need are a few basic ingredients that you probably already have in your house. Take a big scoop or ladle of the dough, spread it out all over the pan, and you can tilt the pan to make sure that it covers everything. Small, but I think she'll do. They're really good. Okay, I'm gonna go eat the rest of my blini, but now you all know how to make them, so maybe you can celebrate a little bit of Maslenitsa wherever you are in the world. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you're interested in seeing more content relating to Russia and Russian traditions, definitely subscribe to my channel and turn on the bell notification so that you get an update every single time I upload a video. All right, that's all I have for today. Пока-пока.